If you have been hearing about that term, blocked fallopian tubes, this video is for you because today I will be sharing 10 common causes of blocked fallopian tubes. And if you're a woman on a TTC journey and that has been your issue and your mind, you can't wrap your mind around what caused this my tube or my tubes to be blocked. Today I will be sharing elaborately 10 common causes of blocked fallopian tube. But good news is that blocked fallopian tubes or tube is not the end of your fertility journey as a woman. So cheer up. There is something you can do about it. I will leave the link in the description of what you can use to start unblocking your fallopian tube. If you're new to my channel, you are highly welcome. My returning viewers, you are the real MVP. God bless you. So let's get started. We all know what fallopian tube does. If you're a woman trying to get pregnant, you know that fallopian tube is the main connector, the main bridge. I will leave it like this. First, fallopian tubes are like the rope that connects your ovaries together to your womb, okay? And that is where all the walking up and down of the sperm and the egg happens. So it's an indispensable structure in our fertility organ. The first cause we're going to be looking at today is what is known as congenital defect. That is like a birth defect. Yes, a woman can be born with an abnormal structured fallopian tube. Just like an abnormal, a woman could be born with abnormal womb. The womb will be so small. The same thing can happen in fallopian tube. It will not be open. The structure of that fallopian tube does not favor sperm movement, neither will it favor the egg release to meet with the sperm. So that way, automatically, that fallopian tube is blocked. Womb X-ray can reveal if you're dealing with congenital blocked defect, congenital blocked fallopian tube. Like it happened from your birth, you were born with it. Secondly is tubal ligation. You know, there are some women that will say, I want to tie my tubes. If you tie that your tubes and you want to untie that tube, there are chances that it can develop scars or it will not be successfully untied, I beg your pardon. It's going to block that tube. It doesn't mean that there are no successful cases. There are successful cases, but there are some anybody will send it your jaw that no somehow that tube will not be untied successfully. So many times women use it to actually do family planning. You just go and tie your tubes. I don't know if it's rampant in this part of the world, but over there it is rampant. People tie their tubes all the time just because they want to avoid pregnancy. So in tying that tubes, chances sometimes are that it might not be untied successfully. Then the third cause why a fallopian tube might be blocked, it's when there is growth. You already know fibroid grows in the womb. Sometimes it could grow near the fallopian tube, thereby causing blockages, distorting the shape of that fallopian tube, that it would deny access to sperm to move. The fallopian tube is very tiny. Any little thing can cause it to change its function and structure, all right? Or even endometriosis or adenomyosis. These growths tamper with fallopian tubes if they grow on those odd places. Next is chronic pelvic infection. Chronic pelvic infection causes toxins to pile up and fallopian tubes are not left out. It could pile up there. Next is ectopic pregnancy. When there is ectopic pregnancy, you and I know that ectopic pregnancy is is a fatal condition. So one of the tubes will be taken out and that woman is left with one tube. Next is what is known as hydrosalpinx. It simply means fluid collection and the fallopian tube. So the question is, what is causing this fluid collection? Most times, women have cysts on their ovaries. These cysts contain fluid, even blood matters, all kinds of pores. So sometimes they can leak out and, deposit on the fallopian tube and cause that fluid accumulation. Or even some bacteria, what they release as toxins could be like a fluid-like matter that could pile up. You see why on a regular you should be actually treating infection. I did not say you should go about drinking antibiotics. No. Before you treat any infection, kindly do high vaginal swab tests, urine MCS, find out the drugs you're sensitive to, use it, the recommended dose and the recommended duration. Very, very important. And you avoid situations that predispose you to getting this infection all the time. The next cause we're going to be looking at, past abdominal or pelvic surgery. If you've done surgery before, chances are that sometimes it could get overboard. Things can just spoil, okay? There are some hospitals that once they are through with complications up and down, especially when that surgery was done because of your reproductive organ, it could affect your fallopian tube. Just like women going to do fibrous surgery, sometimes it could come out with some kind of complications. I'm not saying that that's what happens in all cases, but percentages of these cases, incidences exist. Next is sexual STIs. If you are exposed to STIs like gonorrhea, chlamydia, chances are that over time these infections can wear out your fallopian tube. They can cause scarring on it. So you see why you need to be checking. Check for chlamydia growth, check for gonorrhea. There are some of these bacteria that are very stubborn, and the toxins they release are not jokes. They mean business. So you want to make sure you screen for STIs and get yourself treated and on point. Next is accidents. There are some impactful accidents that can affect the fallopian tube and cause it to be blocked. Just like in men, so many times, the vein that transports semen out can get blocked, okay? And this could be because of accidents. It's not their fault. It just life happened to them. Finally is uterine infections or postpartum infections. Womb infections or postpartum, that is after you have given birth, you didn't take care of yourself. You see all those lotion that come out, whatever you eat, the hygiene during that postpartum is very, very important. Because if you don't do it, where infection can enter your womb, go and block the fallopian tube. Have you not seen women that after giving birth, before you know it, they started having sepsis? So many times you trace it, those women were not properly taking care of themselves. Their hygiene were very, very poor. So don't joke with your postpartum care so that you avoid all the uterine infections that can escalate and block the fallopian tubes. You will not know during that time. Maybe when you are trying to get pregnant for your second baby, third pregnancy, and you're hearing crickets, looks like the fallopian tube is blocked. Which of these causes resonates with you? The link to how you can unblock the fallopian tube is linked in this video. Go ahead, watch it, and implement ASAP. He wish above all things that you and I prosper and be in good health. Even as our soul prosper, thank you for tuning in today.